Hey guys, Zulk here. Welcome to the second channel. Before continuing on to this episode, as always, I need to get the disclaimer out of the way. This is not a tutorial on how to learn C++ in an effective manner. If you clicked on this video thinking that it's going to teach you how to do stuff in C++, this isn't. I mean, it might, but it won't do it in any a timely fashion. So if you need C++, I recommend you click off this video and watch a better tutorial. What this video actually is basically me who doesn't know how to code in C++, trying to learn C++, and I'm doing it on camera mostly to keep myself focused and to record my progress. And plus I think this will be fun because I don't think anyone else in YouTube is doing something like this. So with the disclaimer out of the way, good luck. If you have to leave, good luck with whatever it is you needed C++ for. Hope that goes well for you. And for the rest of us, let's continue this episode. It has been a while since I did this, mostly because, well, I guess I just didn't feel quite up to doing this. But I'm back with this now. I have a ceiling fan on, so if you hear some background wind noises, that's why. And last episode, I wrote a quick Hello World program and realized that in this version of code blocks that I'm running, I need to use what is the new method, the modern style. Yeah, the modern style C++ program that uses the new style header and a namespace. So for whatever reason, the traditional style does not work here, but the new style does. Not sure what that is about. But let's read the namespaces section. Again, I am reading from Teach Yourself C++ by Herbert Schlitt. And I'm not going to read the book line by line because as I won't. But I may read out a few parts which I think might be important. And there's going to be a lot of dead air in this series. So namespaces. When you include a new style header in your program, the contents of that header are contained in the namespace std, in the std namespace. And namespace is simply a declarative region. The purpose of a namespace is to localize the names of identifiers to avoid name collisions. Traditionally, the names of library functions and other search items were simply placed into the global namespace as they are in C. However, the contents of the new style headers are placed in the std namespace. We will look closely at namespaces later in this book. For now, you don't need to worry about them because you can use this statement using namespace std to bring std namespaces into visibility. So namespace, basically what I can get here is a place where all of these things are stored. All the variable names from each of the libraries I load is stored. That's what I got from reading that. Working with an old compiler. Yeah, I don't have an old compiler. It's saying that basically these few lines are going to create problems if my compiler is an old one that doesn't support the new style one. But apparently for whatever reason, my compiler isn't supporting the old style coding. So I guess I don't have to worry about that. Well, that is problematic. My power just went out. I can't read the book because it's dark here. I guess I'm going to have to pause recording until the power comes back. Thankfully, it didn't take too long for the power to come back. I think it was gone for like 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes tops. So we are back in it. But where was I? Oh yeah, reading the compiler bits. It said, and it says over here, if this is the case, they're talking about the compiler not accepting the new style of coding. There is an easy workaround. Simply use an old style header and delete the namespace statement. That is, just replace hashtag include iostream using namespace std with hashtag include iostream.h. This change transforms a modern program into a traditional style one. Well, we know for a fact that the traditional style ones don't work on my computer. I do not know why, but it doesn't. Since the old style header reads all of the contents into the global namespace, there is no need for a namespace statement. One other point, for now and for the next few years, you will see many C++ programs that use the old style headers that do not include a namespace statement. Your C++ compiler will be able to compile them just fine. For new programs, however, you should use the modern style because it is the only style of program that compiles with standard C++. While old style programs will continue to be supported for many years, they are technically non-compliant. Okay. So exercise before proceeding, try compiling the new style skeleton program shown above. So they're telling me to try this out. Hashtag include iostream using namespace.std. Delete this section. They're telling me to try this. Save and build and run. Hold on. What? Oh, right. I did the wrong one. They are talking about this one actually. I think. Int main. Yeah, this is the one they're talking about, I think. Save, build and run. Yeah, it does nothing as expected. And now they're telling me to replace the uh, namespace and iostream with iostream.h, which we know won't work. I'm pretty sure it won't work. Okay. But I'm gonna try it anyway just because. Oh, right. I forgot to close this. Yep. For whatever reason, this does not work. What happens if I do it like this? Hold on. What the? Huh? This worked even without even without namespaces std? Why? This isn't supposed to work, but it did. I I don't know why. I have no idea why. Hold on. Test something real quick. Let me just delete this line real quick. It still works. Why does this work? This should not work, but it's working. And I don't know why. Fuck it. Don't look who gives some horse in the mouth. I'm going to say it's working because the god of computers or something and decreed that it will work. It's working because magic. That's why. I'm still going to include the using namespace part though. STD. STD here, by the way, means standard as far as I know. Yep, still works. Right. Again, I have no idea what that was about. I'm just gonna move on. Console IO. Here IO means input output. I know that much. Since C++ is a superset of C, all elements of the C language are also contained in the C++ language. This implies that all C programs are also C++ programs by default. Okay, actually there are some very minor exceptions to this rule, which are discussed later in this book. Therefore, it is possible to write C++ programs that look just like C programs. Okay. While there is nothing wrong with this per se, it does mean that you will not be taking full advantage of C++. Noted. Perhaps the most common C++ specific feature used by C++ programmers is its approach to console input-output. While you may still use functions such as printf and scanf, yeah I did, C++ provides a new and better way to perform these types of input-output operations, I/O operations. In C++, I/O is performed using I/O operators instead of I/O functions. Okay, the output operator is, as you know, in C, these are left and right shift operators, respectively. In C++, they still retain their original meanings, but they also take on the expanded role of performing input and output. Consider this C++ statement. Count. This string is output to the screen. This statement, hold on, let me just do this real quick actually. COT. I don't know what COT. Oh, C out, not scout. It's C out, like C output. I think that's what, or console output. I think that's what that means. I'll just do hello world instead. Question mark. \n. Oh wait, never mind. Inside this. Let's run this, see what happens. Okay, so this is the console and it outputted the hello world string, just like the book said it would. Here, causes the string to be displayed on the computer screen. This is a predefined stream that is automatically linked to the console when a C++ program begins execution. Okay. By using output operator, it is possible to output any of C++'s basic types. For example, this statement outputs the value 199. Let's try something real quick. This is not in the book, but let's try something. Save, build and run. 6.5. That worked. Neat. Wait, what? Here the expression can be any valid C++ expression, including another output expression. What does that mean? To input a value from the keyboard, use the input operator. For example, this fragment inputs an integer value into num. Let's try the input thing now. Anti-num C in as in input. Input is like this, output is like this. What? A variable. Oh, so what this basically means is if I'm reading this code right, using my knowledge of basic programming, even though I don't know how to code a thing in C++, I have mentioned it in a previous episode that I do know Python programming, I know C programming. So using knowledge from that, what I'm guessing this line does is it takes an integer input from the keyboard and stores it in num. Let's see if this is the case or not. Let's see if this works. Oh, right. 9. Okay. What happens if I try to do something stupid like put in A? 0. Yeah. So I was right. I was right. What this line basically is doing is when I run the program, it's taking inputs from my keyboard, storing it in the num integer variable, and then this line is outputting the stored info. Got it. Let's move over to some examples in the book. This program outputs a string, two integer values, and a double floating point value. Outputs. Let's write this code from the book. So int. Oh wait, I already did that. So ij double is for the double floating point data type, I guess. Then over here we are defining, basically storing data into the variables we declared, storing their values. Oops, 101. What's with the space? Is it? Oh, I think I understand. Hold on. What they did here is did it like this. I keep wanting to say count instead of see out. I need to fix that because otherwise I'm going to make a mistake and never be able to figure out why my code isn't working. return is 0. If build and run. But empty character constant. That's what they. Oh. Oh. I think I need to give this space. Hopefully this will work now. Yeah. So the gap I put in, that was for these gaps. If I didn't do it, what would have happened, I believe, is something like this. Yep, they are all just attached to one another because I didn't put in space. Now question, could I do this whole thing in one line? Let me try it. Like without putting more C outs, can I do all of it in one line? Backslash n, then oh, never mind. I got ahead of myself because here in the next example it says just that it is possible to output more than one value in a single IO expression. For example, this version of the program described in example 1 shows a more efficient way to code the IO statements. Ah, interesting. Actually, no need for this. If I know, this isn't exactly how they did it in the book. I'm just doing it my way. Wait, D. Let's see if this works. Return 0 is still there. So this sign in front of every instance of an output. Got it, I think. This should work, I hope. Yeah, it worked. Here are some values. Oh, this one got attached, but that's fine. We could easily just fix it by doing this. This should fix it. Yeah, it worked. Neat. Hold on. If this seems confusing, simply remember that the output operator behaves like any other C++ operator and can be part of an arbitrarily long expression. Notice that you must explicitly include spaces between items when needed. If the spaces are left out, the data will run together when displayed on screen. This program prompts the user for an integer value. We already experimented that one, and this is a new program. So we already did this, but I'm just going to do it again because the book said so. Because yeah, enter a value. I wonder what happens if I try to do a float value when they want an integer value. I should check that out actually. Oh, I need to put in some spaces. And this will just move to the next line, I believe. Okay, and I still have returned 0. Let's see what happens. Save. All right, enter a value 8. The number is 8. Okay, now what happens in C++ if I do something stupid, like I gave a decimal value but they want integers? Okay, so they just chop off the decimal. Got it. I'll remember that. And moving on to the next example program. The next program prompts the user for an integer value, a floating point value, and a string. It uses one input statement to read all the tree. Huh. Interesting. Yes. 80 is basically the string length, right? Yeah. 80 is basically the character length, because string, if I remember my C correctly, string is essentially just an array but for characters, and the characters in the array work together to make a full string, and the 80 is basically how many characters you can fit in that string. Don't forget the semicolon, because otherwise the code won't work. I I remember you don't have to do that in Python, but you definitely have to keep an eye out on the semicolons for C, and you also have to do that when you're coding in Doom, when you're scripting in Doom. That is not a programming language, but whatever, it's still the same thing. The semicolon part. I wonder if it's possible to put everything into one statement, like both in and out. Probably not. Okay, return 0. Oh, I accidentally deleted the return 0. Should rewrite that. Save. And now build and run. Enter an integer 5, floating point 69.69, and a string. Nice. What? I thought I put in spaces. Alright, I did not actually put in any spaces. It worked. Let's get back to reading. Hold on. As this example illustrates, you can input as many items as you like in one input statement. As in C, individual items must be separated by white space. When a string is read, input will stop when the first white space character is encountered. For example, if you enter the following into the preceding program, the program will display this. Oh, yeah. That's what they were talking about. When they encountered this white space in input, they just decided that that was when the input ends and did not take anything else. I wrote down. The remainder of the string is left in the input buffer, awaiting subsequent input operations. This is similar to inputting a string by using scanf with the percentage format. Wait, it said that the remainder of the string is left in the input buffer awaiting subsequent input operation. So that means I can do this though. 420 space 69 space 69.69 space blaze. It worked. So basically what's going on over here, from what I understand, is this is what the computer is saying. Input integer, float, and a string in that order. You're inputting 420 up space, that means you're done inputting the first thing, which is an integer. 69.69 space up, you're done with the second thing, that is a float. And then blaze, which is, and then space, you're done with the third thing, which is a string. That is all stuff that's been inputted. This is your input. So that's what the program is basically doing. It basically just moved on, and it decided that anything else afterwards was not part of anything, so it was just dropped and the next line was printed. Let's go to example 5. When you use the input operator, which I've been using all this time, all input is line buffered. This means that no information is passed to your C++ program until you press enter. Okay. In C, the scanf function is line buffered, so the style of input should not be new to you. It is not. To see the effect of line buffered input, try this program. Character ch. Let's write this program and see what happens. Int main. Again, don't forget the semicolon. So this is a do while loop, right? Yeah, this is a do while loop. Oh, I can put a space here. What were the three types of loops? For, do while, and what was the other one? For, while, and do while, I think. And the main difference is for and while checks the condition first and then does the loop, and do while does the thing one time and then checks the condition. I'm going to test that right after I write this program. Okay, let's try. Hello? I think I fucked something up. This is not working. Alright, I forgot to write the actual loop body. I am an idiot. What even is this? Why? I know that this spacing is really important. In pretty much every programming language, I think. Even when there's supposed to be a programming language where this space is not important, like HTML, it turns out to be important in my experience. But then again, I'm a noob, so maybe I'm just bad at programming. Who knows? Does this work? F, S, X. Okay, X stops it. A, G, R, R, T, T. Capital X? Yeah, capital X doesn't trigger it. What happens here if I do something like this? Yeah, you see why? Do you know why they gave this many semicolons? What happened here was every time they started the thing, printed. So first they printed this line, then they went into the do thing because they're not checking for this. Actually, let me test something out. Ch equals to x. Let's start x off with this initial value. Will that end the program immediately? It does not. I want to try one more thing. Since x is the initial value, okay, no, it still doesn't end the program at all. Yeah. So what happened basically is even under this, what happened was, I'm going to do a practical example. Okay, so what basically happened was the program started, it declared character x with x being its original value. Then, they went into this, they did this line, output enter keys, press X to stop. Then they went into this one because do while checks the condition at the end of the loop, not at the start. And here they print out this one time. And when I typed in stuff like SE, it basically took the input, then checked that CH is not equals to X, went back here, printed this, took another input. But when I typed stuff like this or this is what happened. HJK I typed. So took J and K is lined up, uh, checked H is not it, went back here, did not wait for my input, and then just took the J I inputted before as the C in, and went back, and it ran the loop 3 times basically until it encountered X, at which point it terminated the loop. So okay, that's what happened. See, I'm learning. What's next? Okay, so there are a bunch of exercises for me to do. I think I'm going to skip them for now, but I am going to read the exercises just to see what it is. If something seems like I can't figure out a way to do it, I'm going to try. But otherwise, I think I would be able to do these exercises. This last one is kind of hard, primarily because I forgot what some of these values do. Shouldn't be too hard to convert it from C to C++ style though. Let's try it. Let's try this third program and see if it works or not. So first I'm just going to copy the program wholesale from the book, and then I'm going to work to edit it. I'm going to leave this part up because I'm pretty sure I have to use it. But in the book it just said hashtag include stdio.h. So yeah. Thing. I need a paperweight. I think I'm going to rename something here because min seems like it's already an operator. I'm going to change that. The program, by the way, computes the lowest common denominator between two numbers. Yeah, I forgot what this thing does. I'll have to look it up off camera. It's been a while since I did any. It's been a while since I did any C programming, so I kind of forgot what that does. Okay, so the book did say that C programs also work in C++. So I wonder if without any changes this will work or not. Oh, right. Mini. Trying again. So finding the common denominator. Um, the common denominator of 2 and 3 is 6, right? Or no, 10 and 15, the common denominator is 5. 10, 15. Oh, wait, it's 2? That's that doesn't seem to be right. Yeah, something went wrong here, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong with this one. I kind of want to move forward. To be perfectly honest with you, I kind of want to move forward and return to this at a later time. I I'm gonna come back to this actually. I definitely don't want to dwell on this one. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab this random ass pen from my bedside table and I am going to mark this one with a question mark because I think what is happening here, the problem with this program is not with the code itself, but with me. It's been so long since I did anything with C. I think I need to refresher on what some of these operators mean. What happens if, hang on, what happens if I make all of this min instead of mini? Does that fix anything? No, it still didn't fix anything. So yeah, I think the problem here is that I am too rusty with C and I forgot a bunch of stuff. I need a quick refresher, uh, which I'm gonna do off camera, and then I'm gonna come back to it in the next episode. But for now, I think I wanna move on. And see, the next part is C++ comments. Here's a new way to add comments. The second way that you can add a remark to your C++ program is to use the single line comment. Oh, I already know that one. Okay, these are just the examples over here are just examples of using comments. And the next section, the comment section was not really that uh, like in depth. Well, I wouldn't say in depth. It was like I already knew how to do C style and C++ style comments. And so I didn't really need to dwell too much on that. But then the next part is classes, a first look. And I think I'm going to need to really focus on this next section because classes are something that I am not too good at. I did some Python classes, I think, but yeah, I never managed to do C classes. So I am really excited for that one. But I think that's enough for this episode. I'm going to mark classes over there. And let's see, how long have I been recording? Been recording for almost an hour. As always, I am going to boot up chess.com and play a game of chess. Alrighty, we are in chess.com now, and I'm gonna play a 20-minute game as usual. And I've given up trying to do some inspect element Q hackery to edit out my opponent's name, and I'm just gonna censor it in post. Let's go. As you can see, I lost a lot of rating points because As well, I got too careless. Okay, Dura's Gambit, go. Hopefully, I'll be able to do a lot better in this game because unlike all the games where I got careless, I will actually be thinking my moves through. So, yeah, you're targeting this. That is fine. I can take you because if this, then this. And if not this, then I know this is coming. I'm doing this. Force your bishop back somewhere. Maybe here. Then I'll do this, I guess. Yes. And then I'm gonna move my knight here to guard this pawn. Actually, I don't need to guard that pawn. Even if you take, I can just move this here. Okay, the bishop went there. I'm gonna do this. No, that would have been bad because if I did this here, and this could be a problem. So first I'm going to develop my knight. Then I'm going to take this. And if takes, then this. There is a queen trade here though. Okay, good. You did not do that. The queen trade was takes, takes, check, heck, then, and forced move, check block, then takes, I take, you take with my bishop, and you're in a better position. That could have happened, but it didn't, so it's fine. Heh. So where do I want my next knight? Do I... Hang on. I can place this here. Or I can place this knight here. I think I'm going to move my bishop out first. Just develop. There is no big brain idea behind that. That's just me making a developing move. I'm going to move my queen out. Now I know this pawn can't be targeted. This is coming, but that's not my goal anyway. What I'm thinking is queen out. You move here to protect this pawn. Then I move here. So that this pawn is guarded by the queen. Or alternatively, I can move my knight here. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Do this. If this, then this. I did not anticipate that. This. I can't move my queen to take that. But it's fine. Move this here. If takes, then takes. I'll still be guarding this pawn. There are two attacks on this pawn. And I have two defenders, so it should be fine for now. Oh, I just noticed something. I've got... No, I don't. I thought I had something, but I didn't. Do this. Now this pawn is under attack. You can't take this knight because then I take this queen. And it's mostly an equal trade, but I'm still ahead in material at the end of it all. Okay? Move this here. Okay, now this one has two attackers but one defender, which is not ideal. I can move this out though. But where do I move it to even? I can move it here, but what does that actually do for me? I'm gonna protect this knight for now with this pawn move. If I take this, then this. I have a plan. I have a plan. Take, then I can move this to check, I think. Alternatively, there's one more thing I can do. I can move here, bait this, and if takes, then I take back. But then what afterward? What do I do afterward? Where can you actually go? Now that you move your knight, where can you actually go? Should I attack this queen? No, that would just... No, that's not hanging either. Because this knight is protecting that one. So, if I move this, where does the queen go exactly? Over here, going into a queen trade, which I don't want. Or over here. I think I should just leave that queen alone for now. I'll do this, then I'll castle kingside. Okay. Do this. If takes, then I have an attack on the king. Perfect. I can move this to do a check. Oh, I can't castle anymore. I lost my castling rights. It's fine. It's still fine. Check. Then you're probably going to move here. And that's that. But then I can move my knight here to deliver checkmate. Or at least try to. Might as well try to. Now I did hang this, but that is fine. Because I'm not even... I don't care about this pawn. Oh, you preemptively moved. Interesting. Very interesting. Now should I move this bishop? I want to move here. That is just straight up checkmate. Okay, I'm moving this. If takes, I take back. And is that checkmate? Yeah, it's checkmate. Well, that was an easy-ish game. And it wasn't too bad because, I mean, it wasn't too impressive because I was like 200 rating points higher than my opponent. So it was kind of a one-sided match, but it's fine. So guys, that's it for this video. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and or subscribe. Dislike it if you hated it. I'll heart your comment to let you know I've read them. So just because I added your comment doesn't mean I agree with it or endorse it. I'm Zulk-RS. This is the second channel and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. I actually forgot what my outro was there.